much stuff is happening so often that before I was even able to put a video out about the tariffs, everyone's responses to the tariffs, the problem is already over. So what am I going to make a video about now, guys? Why don't you come on in and find out? I'm your host, Parma John, and this is Niagara Due North. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Did it. So, what is on the agenda today, folks? We have Scott Moe, first and foremost, before we get to the tariffs. Okay? Scott Moe has announced he is going to remove the industrial carbon tax on Saskatchewan on April 1st.
Well, thank you very much, everyone, and welcome here this morning. Effective on April 1st, 2025, Saskatchewan will now be a carbon tax-free province, the first carbon tax-free province in the nation of Canada.
Danielle Smith is making controversial headlines yet again by going down to Florida to meet with PragerU and Ben Shapiro. As we speak currently, Pierre Poilievre is speaking in Nanaimo, BC.
When their perpetrators are arrested, they are promptly released on bail or later on parole. And then they reoffend and do it all over again.
We will have more on that tomorrow. Getting on to the Canada is segment of the show. What we have for you today is Yves Blanchet. Yves Blanchet is a leader of a separatist party. That is what their party is to do. He's expected to say this stuff. This is what I've been saying too. Why would any Quebecer be voting Liberal when they've never been so close to separation? Right? The Bloc Québécois should be at their all-time high right now. Here's the video.
This is what we want to be, partners, but not submitted, not having a boss over us, and protecting and promoting our own specific interest. Afterwards, we will again have to think about the very good idea of making choices of our own, and that's making Quebec a country.
That is not all either, folks. Alberta, as everybody has been hearing, has been making headline after headline about separation. Separation in Alberta has never been higher. It is at an all-time high, folks. So, Ottawa had better start making some big moves fast. Have you guys ever heard of Elizabeth Rowley? I haven't either. Not gonna lie. Not much of a political expert over here. She is the leader of the Communist Party of Canada. Need any more proof how effed Canada is right now? Okay, they just held a press conference. Here is a slight highlight.
So the stakes in this election are very high for working people. What's hanging in the balance are hundreds of thousands of jobs and the wages and living standards of working class families across the country. Medicare and social programs are also on the table, along with Canada's foreign policy, our economic and trade policies, the environment, and people's sovereignty and democracy. While Trump's tariffs, endorsements, and threats of annexation are the greatest foreign interference ever seen in a Canadian election, they also expose the rot and violence of U.S. imperialism as it moves towards fascism and global wars of conquest, genocide, and control.
Just the simple fact that these guys have airtime is not good. That is proof in itself. We are headed for some seriously hard times if we go globalist. Next, finally, folks, I know I kept it from you for so long. We have today's top story. So, I mean, what was supposed to be today's top story, the Trump tariff threats. Let's take you through the beginning right through to the end, guys, okay? Starting with the announcement.
We've prepared for your attention a proclamation imposing a 25% tariff on foreign-made cars and light trucks. This is in addition to tariffs that are already in place on those goods.
Right, that led to some pretty urgent backlash from Canada's leaders, of which I will show Poilievre's right now. It is extremely inspirational and uplifting. And of course...
But before I go any further, I'm once again, like all Canadian leaders, forced to address yet another attack by President Trump against our economy. Here he goes again, attacking his closest neighbor and America's best friend, with new tariffs that will drive up the cost of living for American consumers and drive down American wages, while damaging a historic friendship, the best trading relationship in the world. My message to President Trump is knock it off. Stop attacking America's friends. Start trading so that we can once again become richer, stronger, and more secure on both sides of the border. That is how we will have the money for stronger military and stronger borders to secure our continent against real threats and real enemies. We will never be the 51st state, but we can once again be friends with the United States if the President reverses course on these disastrous tariff threats. But I have a further message for President Trump. If you decide to go down this road, this is what's going to happen. Yes, you'll do damage to us in the short term, but we will fight back and we will build back. Within 4 years of a new, strong, conservative government, Canada will be completely rebuilt. We will rebuild our economy. We will not be reliant on the U.S. anymore, and the Americans will have lost the greatest trading partner and friend they ever had. A conservative government will build pipelines and LNG plants, aggressively promote mines and other resource infrastructure that has been blocked for the last 10 years. We'll have new overseas trading partners. We will knock down interprovincial barriers so that we can trade with ourselves. We will send our goods to our friends on other sides of the oceans of the world. We will cut taxes and speed up permits so that we can sell our oil, gas, mining, lumber, agriculture, fisheries, manufacturing, small businesses and large businesses alike. The world needs our resources and our expertise. If you, Mr. Trump, don't want them, the rest of the world does. Under a new conservative government, we will put Canada first for a change. We will be a nation that is strong, self-reliant, standing on its own 2 feet so that we can stand up for ourselves and stand up to the Americans.
Pierre honestly wins. Trump messed up. Okay. Because regardless of what's going to happen, moving forward, we're not reliant on them anymore. We're grown up now. We're off the teat of America. We're off making trading partners everywhere else, and then they're going to have to start paying a lot more for their stuff that they get from Canada. You know? So there was perks to this situation that they were in, and now he's going to have to pay a lot more for our stuff. Here is Mark Carney's dumb response.
Yesterday, in the latest salvo in his trade war, President Trump again imposed unjustified tariffs on our nation in violation of our existing trade agreements. This time, he targeted the auto industry and the more than 500,000 hardworking, dedicated Canadians that industry supports across our country. And our response to these latest tariffs is to fight, is to protect, and to build. We will fight the U.S. tariffs with retaliatory trade actions of our own that will have maximum impact in the United States and minimum impacts here in Canada. Let's be clear. We're all on the same page. We won't back down. We will respond forcefully. Nothing is off the table to defend our workers and our country.
Here I'm going to take you to the White House, official White House page about this tariffs. Here this explains. This is proof that Mexico will be hurt from this more than Canada. Here it is. The 25% tariff will be applied to imported passenger vehicles and light trucks, as well as key automobile parts, with processes to expand tariffs on additional parts if necessary. Importers of automobiles under the United States, under the USMCA, will be given the opportunity to certify their U.S. content, and systems will be implemented such that the 25% tariff will only apply to the value of their non-U.S. content. Okay? That will help Canada. Okay? Because we're not bringing stuff in from China. USMCA compliant automobile parts will remain tariff-free until the Secretary of Commerce, in consultation with U.S. Customs Border Protection, establishes a process to apply tariffs to their non-U.S. content. Canada is the one that's heavily integrated with the U.S. Not Mexico. Mexico is not that integrated as much, right? Obviously, you've heard Doug Ford say it, bring in Chinese products, slap a Made in Mexico sticker on it, and ship it over the border. That is what that is there for. Moving on to some posts from X. Government EXE says, Mark Carney responds to Donald Trump's auto tariffs at his rally by saying this government will have our backs. Where have I heard that before? Sorry, Mark, but Canadians can no longer afford help from this government. F. Carney. James E. Thorne says retaliatory tariffs to Trump's auto tariffs are merely an emotional response. True courage lies in recognizing that Canada can no longer afford to squander its natural resources. Low-cost energy and critical minerals are key to economic success, and Canada must wake up to this reality. It's time to rise above reactionary measures and seize the opportunity to become a powerhouse in the global market. The clock is ticking. Canada must act decisively. Canada must become a hard power in energy and natural resources. That's the dominant strategy. Yes, it will take time. The decades of squandering its natural resources must stop. UCP of Alberta. Trump's 25% tariffs on Canadian auto imports is a devastating blow to hundreds of thousands of good, honest, hardworking Canadians. We Albertans have long pleaded with Central Canadians and to understand the importance of the energy industry to our economy. Well, now we have to show our Ontarians that we share their outrage with this betrayal and stand in solidarity with those whose livelihoods and communities are in real danger. Let's not allow Trump to divide Canadians. We have to stand together, defend all industries and jobs. That means that everything should be on the table in terms of our potential strategic response. To the Ontarians who are deeply anxious about these attacks, please know that the vast majority of Albertans stand proudly with you and have your back. Comment down below what you think of that response. Now, if I can be honest, this is blown way out of proportion. Huge. Okay? The auto industry is just over 1% of the Ontario economy. Understand that. The workers, like this whole thing is overblown because of the unions. And because this is riling up the left really badly. Tariffs are actually a lot more devastating to Korea and Japan. Those are the ones who are actually going to hurt pretty bad from this, and Mexico. And now, of course, right before, to end it all off today, folks, to finish the loop, complete the loop, here is Donald Trump's response that he released literally moments ago. I just finished speaking with Prime Minister Mark Carney of Canada. It was an extremely productive call. We agree on many things and will be meeting immediately after Canada's upcoming election to work on elements of politics, business, and all other factors that will end up being great for both of the United States of America and Canada. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Honestly, this guy is the Matterhorn. Do you guys know the Matterhorn? The ride at the carnival and the fairs? The Himalaya, whatever? That's what he is. Just, at least that's what he makes me, anyways. Guys, if you made it this far in the video, please like and subscribe down below. There is so much information out there regarding this. I cannot make a short video. So, comment down below. Please like, please subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. And I will see you guys all tomorrow.